Hi and welcome to this flea market book haul. If you're new to the channel, I'm Øystein and I like going to flea markets. And since all these books are from flea markets, it means that I know little about them, just because the books are cheap and it's easy for me to just take them and bring them home. And we'll start with Odin's Child by Siri Pettersen. This is a YA novel about Norse mythology. It's a part of a series that has become very popular in Norway, and I also believe that Siri Pettersen also has made a fantasy award for Norwegian books, which is very, very cool. This is just one of those novels that come up when you decide to join the Norwegian Book Society as a whole. So that's the first one. The next book is Bullshit Jobs by David Graeber. This book basically talks about jobs we don't actually need. On Goodreads it said, there are millions of people, HR consultants, telemarketing researchers, corporate lawyers, whose jobs are useless. And tragically they know it. These people are caught in bullshit jobs. So, might be an interesting read, and it also came with what I'll consider to be a new bookmark. So that's something I like. In general, I really like finding non-fiction at flea markets and thrift stores, because this is sort of the universe's way of telling me I need to know about a new specific thing, instead of actually reading a fiction book you find. Feels like it's more meant to be. Not that I'm a huge believer in that sort of thing, but still, I like finding non-fiction more than fiction at thrift stores. The next book is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie, and this is the first book in the series First Law. Well, this is the first part of the first book in that series. This is a book I've been thinking about buying for a long time. It's a fantasy novel and it's supposed to be really great. Of course, Joe Abercrombie is one of the big authors in that genre. But the thing that has stopped me each time is the cover. I get that this is supposed to be very brutal and cool and all sorts of things, but it's just not that pretty. It's straightforward ugly, which I suppose is the point, but that's what has stopped me before. On the opposite side of that scale is the books I buy for their looks, and the first one is No Easy Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. Speeches, letters and other writings. I just find the Penguin Modern Classics to be very, very beautiful to look at, and this must be a book of importance and a book that can make me reflect, so I thought, why not? Basically, I buy all the books I'm just considering when I'm at the flea market. There's no filter at all, and this is maybe a book I wouldn't have bought if it wasn't a flea market, but if I read it, I don't think I will regret it either. And right besides that book at the same flea market was On the Road by Jack, and I can't pronounce that last name, but you can see it here. And this is of course a book I've heard about, supposed to be a classic, and bought it just because this also is a modern classic. It's hard for me not to buy the modern classics when I see them in the shelf. If I end up not reading them, the thing I can do is put them all alongside each other and they will look very cool in my shelves. Living in Norway, all book-related things seem to be evolving around crime fiction, and for those of you that have watched my videos earlier, you know that I struggle to start with that genre, but that doesn't stop me buying crime fiction novels. And this time is no exception, because I bought Broken Harbor by Tanner French. I've heard about this book from the book review podcast by the New York Times, and they all seem to be enjoying Tanner French's books, which makes me think that this one has to have some literary quality to it, alongside being exciting. This is not the first book in the series, but it's a part of a series, but they meant that it didn't matter at all. I'm still trying to start reading crime fiction, and especially a crime fiction series that I could be sucked into and enjoy. So this is another attempt. And if you have a podcast you would like to recommend me, please comment that below. There's always room for more podcasts. Since I now have read more books and found more authors I like and books I enjoy, I start collecting those authors, and this time is no exception. And the first one is The Sorrow of Angels by Jon Kalmar Stefansson. I have no clue what this book is about, but I loved summer light and then comes the night so much that I really want to be reading more from him. Also, Fish Have No Feet by the same author. Have no clue what it's about, but the critics seem to really be enjoying this one. And, well, I have to read some more books of him and then see if they're all great. So, that's why. And we're not leaving Iceland just yet, because the next one is Hallo Laxness, and that title doesn't correlate with the English one at all, so I have to cheat. And it's The Fish Can Sing. It just doesn't make any sense. But this is illustrated also by a Norwegian painter, so not only can I get the lyrical quality, but also I can look at pictures, which I really enjoy. And if I'm not feeling intellectual after I've read this book, nothing will make me either. So that's sort of my feeling towards this book. I really liked how it looked, and it also feels very bookish. I wish you all could feel this book, because it's seldom that books have this kind of paper quality and this feel to it. It feels so sturdy. So do not regret buying this book, even if I end up not reading it at all. Also, we are leaving Iceland and we're going to visit France, and Vernon Subutex by Virginie Despérance. Yeah, I can't pronounce French names at all. But this is the first book in what I think is a trilogy. This is a book I've been considering reading for a long time. I think the thing that intrigues me the most is that it's a bit controversial. It's been nominated for a lot of prizes, and it is said to have a lot of music references. 3 very different things that I think will be interesting to read about. And on Goodreads it said, Vernon Subutex, the man, the myth, the punklit sensation. So, what more can I ask for? Then there is a book I do not know why I bought, and it's The Lean Startup by Eric Rice. I have no plans on starting a startup just yet, but this is also one of those non-fiction books that I've heard a lot about, and I'm sure I can learn a lot of things from it, which basically is the reason why I bought it. Ta-da! Then there's the book I'm crowning Norway's most sold foreign author flea market of 2022 book. And it's Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This is just a book I've seen so much of at flea markets this year, both in English and in Norwegian. I'm sure many of you know about this book. It's about a woman that has it all but has nothing. Is that the tagline? Something like that. It seems like one of those novels I can read in summer and enjoy. The last one in this book haul might also be the most important one, and it's Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin, a semi-autobiographical novel, which I suspect will be painful to read, and maybe a bit over my head, but that's just my prejudice against this book. It seems intellectual, this one as well, and to some degree I fear that. I've only one segment left in this book haul, and I'll just go and get it. And that's David Walliams, because his books seem to be very, very popular, also in Norway. And the funny thing is that 3 out of 4 of those books I found this year was in English, which has to mean maybe that the grown-ups are reading them more than the children in Norway, but that I do not know. It's Bad Dad, Demon Dentist, The Beast of Buckingham Palace, and The Richest Boy in the World. I'm directly translating, so I hope that's the right title. Not that long ago I read Gangsta Granny, and I really enjoyed that one. And of course they are very fast paced, which makes me feel great. So what more can I ask for? I do not know. I'm looking very much forward to reading these books. Yeah, there's not much more to say about that. I also have the book Rat Burglar, which is going to be read at some point. So these will be a lot of fun. So those are actually all the books in this book haul. I'm sort of happy I didn't go to more flea markets, because obviously I have no self-control. The flea markets are over for now, but they'll come again in autumn, and by then I will have read more books and fallen in love with more authors, ready to buy even more books that I might not read. But that's just something I have to worry about later. Have you read any of these books? Please comment below if you have one of them you'd like to recommend. And I hope you have a very pleasant day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!